In the small town of Ravensbrück, nestled between dense forests and rolling hills, there stood an old and eerie morgue that bore witness to decades of tragic tales. The townspeople spoke in hushed whispers about the haunted history of the building, its dark corridors, and the restless souls that lingered within its walls. The morgue, known as Blackthorn Mortuary, was a relic of a bygone era, its crumbling exterior a testament to the passage of time. Few dared to venture near, and even fewer entered willingly. Yet, the morbid curiosity that dwelled within some drew them towards its ominous presence. Our story begins with Amelia Ross, a young and ambitious journalist seeking to unravel the mysteries shrouding Blackthorn Mortuary. Intrigued by the legends and rumors surrounding the morgue, Amelia embarked on a journey that would test the boundaries of her rationality and plunge her into the depths of supernatural horror. As Amelia stepped through the creaking gates of the mortuary, an overwhelming sense of foreboding surrounded her. The air inside was thick with an unsettling chill, and the flickering lights overhead cast eerie shadows on the cold, stone walls. She carried with her a vintage tape recorder, determined to capture every unsettling sound that echoed in the narrow hallways. The morgue's caretaker, an old man named Edgar, greeted her with a somber expression. His eyes held a secret knowledge, a deep awareness of the macabre tales hidden within the mortuary's archives. Amelia was granted access to the dusty records, each page filled with the names and stories of those who had met their untimely demise. As she delved into the past, Amelia discovered a pattern of inexplicable occurrences linked to the morgue. Families reported hearing faint cries in the dead of night, and some even claimed to have seen apparitions wandering the corridors. The more she dug, the more Amelia became entwined with the unsolved mysteries that gripped Ravensbrück. One night, as Amelia explored the dimly lit hallways, she stumbled upon a hidden chamber beneath the mortuary. The room was adorned with occult symbols and flickering candles, creating an unsettling ambiance. In the center lay a worn-out book, its pages filled with dark incantations and forbidden rituals. Unable to resist the allure of the forbidden knowledge, Amelia began translating the cryptic passages. Unbeknownst to her, the lines she spoke awakened a malevolent force that had long slumbered within the morgue's depths. The air grew heavy, and the temperature plummeted as an otherworldly presence manifested itself before her. A series of chilling events unfolded as the entity revealed its tragic tale. It was the spirit of a young woman named Alara, who had perished under mysterious circumstances decades ago. Bound by unfinished business and a thirst for justice, Alara's ghost sought retribution for the injustices that had befallen her in life. As Amelia tried to comprehend the gravity of the situation, she found herself entangled in a web of supernatural forces that threatened to consume her sanity. The boundary between the living and the dead blurred, and the morgue transformed into a nightmarish realm where the past and present coexisted in a twisted dance. Desperate to free Alara's spirit and break the curse that gripped Ravensbrück, Amelia embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of the paranormal. Alongside a reluctant Edgar, the duo navigated the haunted corridors, deciphering clues and facing malevolent entities that sought to prevent the revelation of long-buried secrets. As the night wore on, the morgue became a battleground between the living and the dead. Amelia confronted the town's dark history, unearthing a web of deceit, betrayal, and supernatural malevolence that spanned generations. The line between friend and foe blurred, and the living were ensnared in a conflict that transcended the mortal realm. In a climactic confrontation, Amelia faced the source of the morgue's malevolence, a malevolent force that sought to perpetuate the cycle of tragedy. With the help of the tormented spirits and the revelations from the past, she unraveled the sinister plot that had ensnared Ravensbrück in a never-ending nightmare. As dawn approached, the malevolent force dissipated, and the morgue fell silent. The tormented souls found peace, and Ravensbrück was freed from the grip of supernatural terror. Yet, the scars of the night lingered, etched into the collective memory of the town. Amelia emerged from the morgue, forever changed by the horrors she had witnessed. The once closed doors of Blackthorn Mortuary now stood ajar, a silent testament to the harrowing events that transpired within its walls. The townspeople, unaware of the night's horrors, continued with their lives, oblivious to the thin veil that separated the living from the dead. As for Amelia, she carried the weight of the morgue's secrets with her, haunted by the echoes of the past. The tale of Blackthorn Mortuary became a cautionary legend, a whispered warning to those who dared to pry too deeply into the shadows that concealed the town's darkest secrets. And so, the small town of Ravensbrook returned to an uneasy calm, its haunted morgue forever etched into the annals of supernatural folklore. The horror that unfolded within its walls served as a chilling reminder that some mysteries are best left undisturbed, and that the past, no matter how buried, can rise again to claim the living. Story 2. The moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting an eerie glow over the small town of Ravenswood. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding as a dense fog clung to the streets, shrouding the world in an otherworldly haze. In the heart of the town, a nondescript building stood like a sentinel against the shadows, Ravenswood Morgue. As the clock struck midnight, a young journalist named Emma Harper found herself standing outside the morgue's heavy, rusted doors. Armed with nothing but a notepad, a pen, and a desire for a gripping story, she hesitated for a moment before pushing the creaky doors open. The morgue's cold, sterile interior greeted her with a silence that seemed to echo through the empty halls. The flickering fluorescent lights overhead cast long, distorted shadows that danced across the linoleum floor. Emma took a deep breath, the air smelling of formaldehyde and decay. Her heartbeat quickened as she began to explore the dimly lit corridors, guided only by the faint hum of the aging equipment. The first room she entered was the autopsy chamber. Stainless steel tables lined the center of the room, each with a dark history etched into its cold surface. Emma shivered as she imagined the countless bodies that had passed through here, each with its own tale of tragedy and loss. The room seemed to pulse with a strange energy, as if the spirits of the departed lingered, watching her every move. As she continued her exploration, Emma stumbled upon a forgotten corner of the morgue. Dust-covered shelves held rows of old case files, each one telling the story of a life cut short. Intrigued, she began to flip through the pages, discovering a pattern of mysterious deaths that had haunted Ravenswood for decades. Whispers of curses and malevolent spirits surrounded the town's dark history. Suddenly, a distant sound echoed through the morgue, a low, guttural moan that sent shivers down Emma's spine. Fear gripped her as she fumbled to find the source of the haunting sound. Following the chilling noise, she stumbled upon a hidden door at the end of a narrow corridor. With trepidation, she pushed it open, revealing a staircase leading down into the bowels of the morgue. The air grew colder as Emma descended into the abyss. The narrow staircase seemed to stretch on forever, leading her to a forgotten basement beneath the morgue. The flickering lights cast eerie shadows on the walls, revealing a series of rusted cages lining the room. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she realized that each cage held a collection of decaying corpses, a macabre display frozen in time. The room seemed to pulse with a malevolent force, and Emma felt the weight of unseen eyes upon her. Whispers echoed through the damp air, telling tales of restless spirits seeking revenge for forgotten sins. Terrified but determined, she pressed on, compelled by the need to uncover the truth behind Ravenswood's haunted past. In the center of the basement, Emma discovered a weathered book, a forgotten grimoire detailing dark rituals and forbidden practices. As she leafed through the pages, she stumbled upon a passage describing a cursed artifact hidden within the morgue, a relic that bound the spirits of the deceased to the earthly realm. Driven by a mixture of curiosity and dread, Emma embarked on a quest to find the cursed artifact. Following cryptic clues hidden within the grimoire, she navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the morgue, each step bringing her closer to the heart of the supernatural mystery. As she delved deeper, the boundary between the living and the dead blurred. Emma began to see apparitions of tormented souls, their eyes pleading for release from the spectral prison that bound them. The morgue seemed to come alive with a malevolent energy, its dark secrets clawing at the edges of reality. Finally, Emma reached the heart of the morgue, a chamber hidden behind a locked door. Inside, she found an ancient reliquary, adorned with arcane symbols and encrusted with the residue of countless rituals. The cursed artifact pulsed with a dark energy, its power palpable in the air. With a trembling hand, Emma reached out to touch the relic, sending shockwaves through her body. The room trembled as the spirits trapped within the morgue surged with a newfound force. The air crackled with energy as the boundaries between the worlds began to unravel. As the morgue became a battleground between the living and the dead, Emma fought to break the curse that held Ravenswood in its icy grip. The spirits, enraged by years of confinement, lashed out with a vengeance, their wails echoing through the halls. In a desperate attempt to sever the ties that bound the cursed artifact to the morgue, Emma recited an incantation she had discovered in the grimoire. The room shook with an otherworldly force as the relic resisted its impending liberation. The very fabric of reality seemed to tear as the ancient curse fought to maintain its hold. In a blinding flash of light, the curse shattered, releasing the trapped souls from their spectral prison. The morgue fell silent, the oppressive atmosphere lifting as the spirits found peace at last. As the first light of dawn filtered through the foggy windows, Emma emerged from the morgue, her body weary but her spirit triumphant. The town of Ravenswood awoke to a new day, the shadows of its haunted past dissipating with the morning mist. The morgue, once a nexus of supernatural torment, stood silent and still, its secrets laid bare by a courageous journalist who dared to face the horrors within. As Emma Harper left Ravenswood, she carried with her the weight of the harrowing night spent in the morgue. The tale of Shadows of Silence would be etched in her memory forever. A chilling reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead, a veil that, once torn, could unleash a torrent of nightmares upon the world.